going live, just so you know.
Beautiful.
Okay. Okay, we're good.
Okay, everybody, it's 6:02. I'm calling this meeting to order. The roll call. Before we start, I'd like to introduce our three new members. Sandra Zanette, representing Axiom Mortgage, Travis Dorner, representing Armando's, and Eddie Hamoud, representing Tabulis. And welcome.
Hi, everyone.
You're a wonderful addition to our group. So we're very pleased to have you aboard.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
Jules Shampoo, is he on yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Leo DeMars,
Yes, I'm here.
Jessica Fowler, she was here.
She's here.
Did we lose her?
No, I'm muted. I'm here.
Okay. Brian, you're here. And Andrew Daly, is he on yet? Is Andrew on? Okay.
Can you guys all see each other, by the way?
Yep.
I can't see everybody now.
I can see 8 people,
Yeah,
including me.
yeah, that's about all I have too.
Andrew, or sorry, Brian?
Yep. Through you, Linda. I'd just like to welcome, our new members, and I'd like to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves. So
We'll start from
I'll start off.
there you go.
Okay, so hey guys, thank you so much for letting me in on this and making me a part of this team. I'm really excited to make changes and have a voice now in the town. I feel like I can bring a lot of new ideas and at least some charisma and some energy to the team. So I'm happy to be partnered with all of you people, and I'm really looking forward to learning a lot from everybody as well, because as you can tell, I'm young. I'm only 23, and so this is going to be very fun for me, and I'm really excited for all the new things I'm going to learn, characteristics, habits, patterns, and just a lot of things that everybody here has done to be successful in their own way. So thank you for that. So I'm just a part owner here of Armando's Tecumseh with, it's my dad and I who part own this one together. So it's as simple as that. It's just takeout and delivery pizzeria in town, but we're busy, and that's excellent through the pandemic and everything. This has been our busiest time ever, which is crazy. It's like, you can't stop eating pizza even when there's a pandemic. So I've been really fortunate for that. It's been a blessing that I've never had a sit down area anyways. So just being takeout and delivery anyways was such a blessing, because I've never had to cut down any sort of capacity. I've just had to start some of these health regulations, like the plexiglass, gloves, masks, sanitizer, things like that. So that was something super easy for us. But I've been in this with my dad now for the last 4 years. He's had the business for 16 years. So I just hopped on board newly with him, but I'm really happy to be doing this. Before this, I did other small jobs. I had an electrician apprenticeship. I worked at a gym. I also worked at Tim Hortons for a number of years. I did some heating and cooling for them. And then I had my own landscaping business. It was just a small one. It wasn't like technically a legit business. I just cut some people's lawns, but I had quite a few clients. So, I mean, that was nice. So it kind of really got me into the motion of working hard and working through a lot of hot days. So yeah, just through these small jobs as a kid and through my earlier years, I learned a lot of good habits, and now it's nice to put everything to use here. So thank you guys for letting me have that.
Thank you. Eddie?
Hi, everyone. Eddie Hamoud, owner of Tabuli by Eddie's here on Les Bronze. This is my second location, actually. We have our first location on Tecumseh and Howard. 29 years old, actually. Been in the restaurant industry for 15 years. And one of my biggest things is helping the community. And I'm actually very grateful to be involved. I was involved kind of before COVID hit with the BIA, and things kind of fell off there, but I'm glad to be back.
Good. Thank you. We're always glad to have your help for the night markets. You were great with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sandra, nice to have you aboard.
Hi, I'm Sandra Zanet. So Eddie and Travis, we can blame you for the COVID weight that we've gained. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we helped.
I actually share the office with the BIA. BIA is downstairs and I'm upstairs, so I am really looking forward to being part of this team. I've been in the mortgage industry for 30 years. We have two offices, one in Leamington and one here in Tecumseh. So we live in Tecumseh, so it's where we live and work and play. So I definitely am excited to be a part of this team and be able to have a voice and help people, and whatever I can do to make Tecumseh better, I'm all for it. So
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you. Do you want to go have the other members introduce themselves to the new members, or?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Paul, do you want to start?
Sure can, yeah. As you know, I'm Paul Biscayne, running a local real estate brokerage here in Tecumseh, lifelong resident. Been on the BIA for I'm not sure how many years, but continue to move on and to enjoy the business community and to help out wherever I can.
Thank you. Leo?
Yeah, I've been born and bred in Tecumseh. Got Blackie's Corner just around the corner from you, Sandra, and the proud owner of Sage Salon. We've got 24 employees and several independent contractors. Just hired 2 yesterday, actually, and been proud to be on. I was on the BIA about 25 years ago for about 5 years, and then most of my career kept me working out of town as a consultant, but pretty much working from home all the time, and glad to be back on the board. Been on the board since early 2021. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. Jessica?
Hi, I'm Jessica Fowler. I help my husband run his business, Fowler Plumbing, in Tecumseh. I was born here and lived here my whole life, and I just had a baby son 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
And thanks. And I've been a part of the BIA for almost a year now.
Thank you. Andrew?
Hi, my name is Andrew Dowie. I'm one of the council representatives for the BIA. I represent Ward 1, so I'm Jessica's councillor, and I'm not Leo's. I am Paul's, but I've been serving since 2014. Delighted to be here. I'd love to see nothing more than the vitality of our business community and tremendous success. So a delight to be a part of the BIA.
Thank you,
Very
Andrew. Brian?
Yep, Brian Houston. I am counselor in Ward 4. So actually, where Eddie's restaurant is, south of VC Row. I'm on my second term of council, resident of Tecumseh. Obviously, I grew up in Chatham, just outside Chatham, small town. So moved here to attend university. Met my wife. The rest of it's history. 2 kids, a dog, no white picket fence yet. So
No chickens.
yeah, no chickens either. So looking forward to working with everyone and continuing to be part of this board. So thank you.
Thank you. I'm Linda Proctor. I'm the vice chair, but right now I'm acting chair as our previous chair retired for us. So it's a learning curve for me. So just bear with me. But I've been involved with the board now for about 10 or 11 years. Started out as a volunteer at the Art of Eating festivals and just hung around long enough that they talked me into becoming a board member. So I really enjoy it. I love getting out and speaking to the new members, to the businesses, especially during this past year with COVID. It's been a real challenge, but we've been keeping them very up to date on everything. We've been supplying them with COVID information and materials that they needed. So we're hoping we'd be coming out of this, but I don't know, it's looking kind of grim right now. So we can just cross our fingers and hope that we get through all this. So retired. I'm the only one on the board that doesn't work. So retired from nursing after 30 odd years. So anyway, welcome to the board. And the next few weeks, I'll be contacting you all to see committees where your interest is and see what committees you'd like to sit on. So as that will continue, And at any time, if anybody has questions as we go along, please don't just sit there and be quiet. Let us know what you're thinking. If there's a question coming up on some of the topics, please just jump in and let us know what's going on. So we'll continue now. Any disclosure of pecuniary interests?
Just to explain to them too, if you guys don't know what pecuniary interest is, if you guys have any biased views on like topics in the agenda and stuff like that, you'd have to disclose that before the meeting, because that means you'd have to leave. So that way the us can talk about it. Just so you guys know what that is, because when I started, I had no idea. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and you all had a chance to go over the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah.
Are there any questions coming out of the minutes from the last meeting? Okay, all in favor of accepting the minutes as posted?
Gonna make a motion.
Travis,
Motion.
Paul, opposed? Carried, thank you very much. Okay, we have no delegations at this time. We'll go on to the, where am I? I'm lost.
You're at supplementary agenda adoption.
Okay, there's nothing supplementary that has been added to our agenda for tonight. So we'll start with the chair reports. I lost my page again. I'm not computer savvy completely yet. There's nothing specific, just continuation of what we've been doing. What I've been helping with is Denise and Paul with the Tecumseh Dollar campaign, and anything that the members may need, the marketing committee meetings and the budget meetings, and then helping, like I said, helping Denise and Paul with anything that has to be urgently done here in the BIA. So that's my report. So we'll move on then to, all in favor of, any questions on the chair's report? All in favor of accepting it as read?
Yeah, that's fine.
Paul, Eddie? Okay,
Yes.
opposed? Carried, thank you. The treasurer's report, Paul?
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. Everybody has a copy in front of them. So this report is for the month end of November 30th, 2021. The BIA operating account, it stood at 33,982.17. We have outstanding checks, which I believe you have an itemized list of those, of 18,494.41. The BIA ledger balance stood at 15,487.76. The reserve account was $67,238.35 with a little bit of interest, brought the total to $67,332.30. The outstanding receivables, you'll see there's probably a little bit more this month than there was last month, but there's a total of about 18 of them, totaling $18,494.41. I'll ask for questions at the end of the report, so just bear with me. The WFCU share capital of $85.60, $10. The petty cash was $820. Our prepaid expenses and deposits was $2,559, giving us a total BIA current asset of $86,354.06. Outstanding Tecumseh dollars was $41,175. Leaving us with other BIA liabilities and equity of $41,175. Pardon me, BIA liabilities and equity of $45,179.06, bringing a total of $86,354.06. And you'll note that our fourth quarter levy is to be received December 31st, which at this point, not sure what that total amount will be, but it looks to be approximately $33,000. Questions, comments, concerns as far as outstanding payments or any of the figures that I just presented to you? Take a moment to look it over. Well, that's my report, Madam Chair.
there any questions on Paul's report?
No.
All in favor of accepting the report as read? Opposed? Carried? Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Hey, coordinators report.
Hey, guys.
Thank God for Denise.
Brady Bunch here. It's me. Okay, so I'll read out the financial information for the coordinator's report. So the Windsor Rock Gym, we had a deposit there for the rock wall, which was $295. It's been like that all year. It's a non-refundable, but it could be carried over to use in 2022. That there, I know we discussed last meeting that we could possibly sell that off.
Yeah,
That's what Brian suggested, or Andrew.
Andrew, yeah.
Yeah, so we might end up doing that because how it looks, I don't think we're ever going to be able to go to Windsor Rock Gym and use that. And then Beach Grove Golf and Country Club, it's a place that we always have our BIA Christmas parties. We haven't been able to have it for the past 2 years, so they have our deposit from 2020 that was supposed to be carried over to this year, and they're going to hold on to that next year because hopefully December 2022 will be okay to have a Christmas party again. So our AST rebate, we have nothing at this time. So I'll go into my membership statistics. So we have a business that opened up in the Zares Plaza. It's called Cremation First Limited. Members preparing to open, of course, we've got the Bourbon across the street, New Earth Wellness on L'Esperance, and on the cannabis side in Green Valley Plaza. They're opening late December. Grand opening, I think they said either January or February. Members that closed, Tecumseh Gold Exchange, they've moved out of our BIA, unfortunately. They were kicked out of that corner. And I wanted to ask Eddie, actually, do you know anything about Manouchi Lebanese Bakery?
We closed it. I was the owner of it, so we closed it down actually.
Okay, so it's out now. I figured I drove by it, I saw the sign, and then I drove by it again and it was gone. So I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. And then member expansion, India 47 restaurant and bar. They actually expanded and they bought where the shoebox was. So they expanded into there. And so current status and total number of members by sector. From November to December, we stayed the same. So there's still 630 members that can vote. And you guys have like the long drawn out numbers here by sector. So I won't go through those. But total, there's 630 businesses and members that can vote. Associate membership, we still have Moni and One Source Moving Solutions. For the new members here, if you guys join the membership committee, the one thing I wanted to get started on next year is how we can approach more members, hopefully get more associate members in the Croft area to join the Tecumseh BIA because they're not part of the BIA. So the more business for us, the better. So there's a list of potential new members in that area that we were going to approach before COVID.
Can I just ask you a question, Denise? Yeah. Why are they not part of the BIA?
So they're actually technically Lakeshore.
Okay.
So our boundary on the right side of the road, if you're going towards EC Row, that's all Tecumseh.
Okay.
The other side is all Lakeshore.
Okay,
But Lakeshore's boundary is actually farther out than our boundary. So you guys weren't in on it, but there's a possible collaboration between Amy Croft area and Tecumseh BIA to have them be part of our area because they're closer to us.
Okay.
So are you referring to Croft Drive on like closer to Patillo?
No, Amy Croft, by where Sobeys is. Sobeys
So
Plaza.
the street
Amy
behind
Croft, okay.
Sobeys.
Because there is a Croft Drive on Patillo. So, but as far as getting new members, like my dad and I own the plaza now, so we could probably encourage other businesses in here if they'd like to join in, and I could sort of pass the information along, and then whoever would like to contact them as far as that. But and then on Croft Drive, like on the green, those businesses there, are they in our BIA area or no?
No.
No.
Okay, they're not. Okay, no
No.
problem.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know some people that I could probably reach out to in the Sobeys Plaza. There is Macro Foods in on the BIA yet?
No.
They're not, no.
I do know one of the owners. I'm sure everybody knows Sarah Ducharme. She's
They're good
Yeah,
friends of mine.
she's-
Sarah and Omar are good friends of mine. I can have a chat with them.
okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like that way we can get like a few if we have mutual friends, things like that. Like there are definitely some connections we could make, businesses in here. Eddie knows them, so that
Yeah, and Hussein that just opened up in your plaza. He's a good friend of mine as well. So I'll have a chat
Yes,
with him
I
if you
saw.
don't.
Yeah. Legends Barbershop. Got it.
Yes. yes.
Excellent.
Okay.
We can,
So
we
just so
can,
you guys know, all of the businesses from like Banwell up into Manning Road, those are all within our boundary. So they're already BIA members. Anyone outside of that, that would be like an associate member. So I already know
Okay.
what committees you two should be on. That would be awesome if we could get more people to join in. So if you know anyone in like the Amy Croft area or past like the Banwell area, we can do those businesses for sure. So that's something I definitely want to work on in the future, because the more businesses we get, the higher our levy can be, and the more people we serve and get our name out there, right? So if you guys are interested in doing stuff like that, the membership committee is definitely something you should look to getting on. And I'm kind of the liaison between all those committees, so I'll be helping you too. But that's awesome. The
Thank you.
more connections you have, the better, because then we'll get to more people, right? Do you guys have anything else with that? Yeah.
Denise, maybe just to clarify, I know you mentioned, but you know, any member or any business owner is assessed a levy if they reside in the BIA area, and it essentially encompasses Tecumseh Town Plaza, Home Hardware on the south side of EC Row, and then pretty much everything north of EC Row in Tecumseh would be within our BIA area. So any businesses which are assessed commercial, a commercial rate through MPAC, they would receive a special levy on their taxes, which funds all the BIA operations. So like in your plaza there, Travis, all of those members would be existing members. They may not be that active, but the plaza itself would be assessed a levy, which you would then pay, and those funds go towards funding all of the BIA's operations. So we hold the responsibility of that levy power. So if we wanted to, you know, put on a festival, we wanted to buy a bunch of decorations, that's where all of those funds come from that special levy. And for any members outside in the Amy Croft area where Macro Foods is, they would pay an associate fee to be a member, and then they gain access to the special programming. You know, they can redeem Tecumseh dollars, etc., at their businesses. So for somebody like Macro Foods, the benefit for them would be they could accept Tecumseh dollars or advertise, you know, the Tecumseh dollar program, and accept those at their store on Amy Croft, and then they just bring those dollars back, as you both know how that program works. So
Yeah.
you know, that would be the benefit.
What are association fees, if you don't mind me asking?
So association fees are based off of how many employees they have. So if they're a bigger place with over a certain amount of employees, they pay a higher rate. But it's usually around like $250 for the whole year, if not lower than that, based on how many employees they have. So the benefits of being a member, obviously, it's a very cheap rate for what we give them, to be honest, because there's a lot of expenses that come into promotions and whatnot. As I'm sure you guys know, as business owners, that stuff's very expensive. All of that we do here for free. So we'll share their content on social media. We'll give them access to any promotions we have going on here with other media outlets, and we'll subsidize half the cost for them, as I'm sure you guys know. So there's lots of benefits to being an associate member, but the fee does go based on how many employees they have.
Now, is there like some sort of letter or package that we can take to these businesses? Yes, okay, awesome.
Yeah, I created one for you guys for the membership committee specifically. So I can just send that to you if you guys choose to join that committee.
Okay.
Just print it off, and or even you can print them off here to save yourself the cost and whatnot, and then just take them and present them. So I've got that all here for you. Yes, Paul?
Paul?
just a point of interest, Eddie, you're looking for the fee schedule for associate membership?
Was that question directed towards me? Sorry.
Yeah, were you looking for the fee schedule for the associate membership fee?
That's what he was
Yeah, like-
asking. Yeah.
Yeah, like if I go, like I know Macro Foods, I can take some sort of letter or some sort of application to kind of give to them and explain, like something like a letter that explains to them exactly what entails or what their benefits are.
Yeah, give it full clarity when you go to see them.
Yeah, so just to clarify it for you guys too, so I've got it here, I'll send it to you via email, but if you've got 1 to 5 employees, it's $100 for the whole year. 6 to 10, it's 125. 11 to 49, it's 200, and then 50 plus employees is 250 for the whole year, which again, it's a really good deal. I know I'm biased, but based on the cost of advertising and whatnot, we subsidize half that for them. So majority of the time. So it's a good deal. That's how you can kind of sell it. But, and you guys know too, personally being members here, how it is to have that discount and being business owners. So that'd be good. Please join the membership committee. Do you guys have anything else? Any other comments?
No.
Okay. So just to continue, so BIA social media, as you guys know, we've got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our Facebook continues to grow every month, and that's a lot because of our advertising on there for our Tecumseh Dollar giveaways. So not only does it benefit the members because they're featured in it, but it also benefits us because we get the word out there about us, and people love free stuff and they love free money, so it works. Our Instagram, unfortunately, was disabled. Someone hacked it. So I'm just waiting to get that back up. And our Twitter has grown as well. So we went from 2,038 Facebook followers to 2,056 from November to December. Instagram, we were around 800, which was great. And then Twitter, we grew from 559 to 561. So over here in the office, I continue to do different giveaways every month to feature different businesses to help promote them and also promote the Tecumseh Dollar program and us. So it's a triple kill, which is great. And I planned out a bunch of virtual giveaways for next year as COVID probably isn't going away. So just to be creative and create interest. And there's lots of people that have nothing else to do. So they're on their computer and their phones and they see our giveaways and it's great. Our big Tecumseh Dollar holiday draw is this month and it's currently going on. So it created quite a buzz. We're giving away 1,000 Tecumseh Dollars, which is fantastic. Last month we did a Movember giveaway and people sent us pictures of their crazy grown out mustaches and they got money for it. And we ordered a bunch of new light displays as well for the BIA parquet. I don't know if you guys have seen them so far, but we have some Tinkerbell wings. We've got a new giant gingerbread man and 2 Tecumseh light up feathers in there. So that's something we did here. We have the Windsor Star holiday guide that we printed, which featured 19 different businesses, which is fantastic. And what else here? Let's see. We printed off Christmas themed corporate Tecumseh Dollars as well here for businesses to purchase if they have any events going on for their staff and for giveaways. We partnered with Tecumseh Recreation Services to give away 500 Tecumseh Dollars for Tecumseh's holiday lights. So anyone in the community that had a house that was nice and lit up and a giant electrical bill that they wanted to enter their house into, to win Tecumseh Dollars, they had a QR code that you could scan and then you could win Tecumseh Dollars. So that's going to wrap up, I believe, on the 18th. And the office now has new phones, so you can leave us a message. Just fantastic. I'm super excited about that. So there's a voicemail now that people can finally leave messages at. Before, just so you guys know, we had a hard time with that for months. Our phones were a little broken. And we continue to share multiple posts on social media as well. Facebook, Twitter, RIP, Instagram. And then our winners of our Gallery Without Walls, we still have 5 banners here that they have not picked up. So I'll hold on to those for next year. But that's it from the.
Do you want to mention about the Tecumseh Dollar program being on hold for January?
Yes, so just so you guys know, we did Tecumseh dollars. We sold them. Our launch day was on every Monday, the first Monday of every month, unless that Monday fell on a holiday. Then we sold on the Tuesday. And we had people, I don't know if you drove by our place in the morning, but we had people wrapped around our building that pitched tents, and literally they
Lawn chairs.
came and set up with their lawn chairs and whatnot. Sandra saw it. Unfortunately, I kicked her out of her parking spot here because all those people. But it was a super successful program. We sold out before we even opened. So the Tecumseh program does work, and it's insanely popular. But unfortunately, there were some little loopholes here and there where, you know, people got away with doing things that we didn't want. So we're trying to revamp the program so that way it's fair for everybody next year. So we put the Tecumseh program on hold for January 2022. Just that way we can revamp that program and kind of fill in and fix those loopholes. So that way there's no way around it. And it's fair for everyone. That way, you know, it takes one person to ruin a good thing. So we don't want.
Do you mind asking what were the things that went wrong?
So the biggest thing that we experienced was it was $500 per person. But unfortunately, we had a budget, right? So we sold $12,500 a month because our entire budget for the year was $150,000. So you divide that by 12, gave you $12,500. So if you set that up and everyone bought the limit, that's 25 people you can sell to. Well, we didn't realize that people were bringing their families. So a family of 5 here with their kids that weren't even old enough yet to have a credit card, but we couldn't turn them away. And they bought up 5 spots out of the 20, which really sucked because we know where that Tecumseh dollar money is going to. It's not going to the 13-year-old kid. It's going back to the parent that brought them there as an extra body. So people were really upset about that we didn't do per household, but that's a really hard thing to manage. And that's been
Control.
the issue. So we're just trying to figure out a way to make it as fair as possible. And it was a trial by fire and the whole year from January up until December. And we fixed all of the loopholes. And then this one was the last one where we're like, got to figure it out. So yeah, that's been the big thing so far was there's family.
Can you check like driver's license, or can we do it that they're like over the age of 18, for instance?
We can check the license, but I don't know if we can turn people away due to their age, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay.
I think I checked, was it Brian or Andrew? I can't remember which one I asked.
I think it was Andrew.
Andrew?
Andrew?
Under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, you can discriminate except for protected categories, age among them.
Okay.
So we can't turn people away of their age, but we can check licenses and IDs and stuff like that. However, if people come from, you know, different homes that are still family members, they can get away with that if they've got divorced parents, they live with one and not the other. Just it's little things here and there where you can't be 1,000% sure, but we can't do this program online because I don't know if someone's sitting on the other end of the computer with 5 different credit cards plugging in different names. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of people.
We're going to have a meeting in January, and we'll send out the meeting notice to the board. And if anybody is interested in joining in on us, once we figure out which committees you'd like to sit on, you're more than welcome to come aboard. And if you have any suggestions on how we can do this, because it's a great program. Our businesses love it. And we got to get more money out there we got to get money out there to more businesses than we've got, and to more people wanting to buy the dollars. That's the problem right now. So when we schedule the meeting, then we'll let everybody know, and your input is certainly welcome. So
we have the demand, we just don't have the inventory. So
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out a way to spread the wealth because there's some businesses. I had 2 businesses, like I said, I won't say their names because I don't have their permission, but there were 2 businesses, small businesses that reached out to me during the pandemic that said this program helped them stay open, even if it was just for 1 more month. So there's a lot of people in the community that rely on this program, and it's fantastic. It's an absolute beast to run. Linda and myself constantly driving around, but I don't care. I'll do it. Paul will do it. It helps the community, right? So we just want to figure out a way to spread the wealth though. So if you guys have any ideas, you're more than welcome. I'm here all the time. I have 2 of these in front of my face every day. So just call.
One thing that kind of concerned me with the Tecumseh BIA with the dollars is like if businesses were buying it, because what is it, like 25% off or something?
20.
Like they buy 20, so they take 100 and they pay 80. I was just more concerned, like, are we having issues where, you know, businesses are sending people and then benefiting from that exchange, if that makes sense?
Yeah,
So
because
we-
then I would get $100 for 80, and then I'd come
For
back
80
and give
bucks.
it to the BIA, and I'd make $20 if I do that.
Yes,
With
exactly.
$500, you know what I mean, multiple times, I could selfishly profit just as a, you know, in the business. It's not a ton, but if you really wanted to, yeah, that is a valid concern, I
Yeah.
think.
But
Yeah.
I tell you guys, I would rather see that than what's going on right now, because what's really going on right now is you have a very few people that are the majority of the money that's being purchased
Just
is
to a couple
being used.
families.
Well, and not only that, but they're subsidizing their grocery bill. So
Mhm.
it's not going to your business per se. Some of it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing some of the stats on it right now, but the issue is the majority of the money is being used to subsidize a few people's grocery bill at Zehrs and Shoppers, and those Zehrs and Shoppers doesn't need to benefit from this. Places like Tabuli's needs to benefit from this. Places like Sage Salon, but the it's being monopolized by people who figured out that, hey, you know what, I can get 20% off my grocery bill. So that's if you were buying it and giving it out to customers to spend in your store, I would say at least you're a small business that's benefiting from this program, and it's your tax dollars going into it. That would be better than kind of what's going on right now. So it needs to be completely rethought.
Yeah, maybe even take, I don't know, Andrew, how does it go along the lines of, let's say, separating businesses? Can you do like, you know, small family run businesses compared to corporations?
No, because they're all within the BIA and they're all
Yeah.
levy paying members. It's just, we'll figure it out. Like I
Okay.
said, we'll have a meeting and we'll sit down and we'll do that. And
Talk
like
about it.
Leo says, I know he's brought this up before, but with the cost of groceries, if I can save 20% on my $500 or on my $100, that's what I'm going to do. But
Yeah.
I noticed in the list too, there's a lot of small businesses in like the plaza where Travis is and other plazas that are calling for having their Tecumseh dollars redeemed. So that's good. And of course the
Good.
restaurants as well. So yeah,
Good.
we'll let you know when we're going to have that meeting, and then we can all sit down and put our heads together and see what we can come up with,
No problem.
because it's a great program. So, okay. Any other questions on that? Thanks,
Yep.
Denise.
Denise, you mentioned partnering with the town, and I think it was the $500, right, for the lighting program. There was an email about including some of those dollars, right, in the sale, because just for everybody's sake, we did authorize printing of Tecumseh dollars, so that if a business or the town wanted to buy Tecumseh dollars, dollar for dollar, no discount or 20% subsidy, those dollars are available. So if somebody wanted to buy a gift certificate to businesses in Tecumseh, they would be able to do that. They could come in, you know, pay $100, get $100, and essentially the only cost to the BIA and the only cost to the members would be printing those physical dollars. So that being said, how many of those dollar for dollar dollars do we have left now, or the corporate dollars?
We still have 1,000.
Okay. I certainly want to ensure that that dollar for dollar program is available. If a business or the town, or if somebody just wanted to come in and buy Tecumseh dollars as a gift, I think there should be no cap on that whatsoever. And if we need to keep 5,000, 10,000 on hand, just so we have those available as gift cards, or, you know, promoting our businesses, I don't think we should have a cap on that at all, because it's dollar for dollar. and those dollars are just going right back into businesses. So
100%. 100%.
if we need to motion or authorize or give you any approval, that if you have requests come in and you need more of those dollars, please let us know. But I think in that you should be able to, print or have as many of those dollar for dollar dollars on hand as what you need.
Yeah. And the whole point of the Tecumseh Dollar program too is to benefit small businesses, but unfortunately, because big franchises are within our BIA, like Zehrs and Shoppers and whatnot, they're still taxpayers and they're still members, so we can't turn them away. But if there's some way we can spin the program, is what we're trying to kind of brainstorm to make, small business dollars and then big business dollars and something like that. So that's kind of where we're going to put our heads together, because it's great that people get this discount on their groceries, because I would love that too, but it's not what we designed the program for. We want that money to go back to the small businesses. So it's going to be a whole conversation. If you guys want in on it, I'm happy that the three of you have joined our board, because between you guys and the rest of us that are on here, you guys all have great ideas. You're business owners. I would love to hear your input. So when we do have that meeting, if you're available, if you can't even physically be here, we can do it Zoom and we'll talk about it more then. But if you think of anything in the meantime, I'm giving you guys homework, come to our meeting with some ideas. That'd be fantastic.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Moving right along now, we have council report.
Linda, I just need a motion to pass
Coordinator's report.
yeah.
Have a motion to accept the report as read. Paul and Eddie, opposed? Thank you. Carried. Okay, council report.
Hey,
Brian or Andrew?
Yeah, thank you, Linda. Town council has met twice officially, and then we had an in-between, which involved some around the table here, since we last met. So November 23rd, we had a very short meeting where we actually considered the BIA appointments. Delighted to see that trickled through. And we also heard from the Solid Waste Authority. So this might be of interest, and I don't know how it'll flesh out, because I know commercial solid waste is not typically handled by government, but it's rather, I know there are certain properties on Tecumseh Road that continue to get collection, but most of our businesses have to take care of their own. So where the Solid Waste Authority came to discuss organics collection. So the province has indicated that the town of Tecumseh and municipalities of the same or greater size must have a dedicated organics collection, so to divert food waste from the landfill. The Solid Waste Authority is currently investigating the appropriate technologies for how to dispose of that waste. Obviously, we don't want to landfill it. Do you compost it? Do you put it through a digester? Do you there are a whole host of different methods out there. The decision from the board of the authority is that this be a regional approach. So all of us in Essex County and Windsor would be part of the program, even though we're not all obligated. Tecumseh would be, but say Lakeshore would not be. So anyway, there are just different caveats out there. But we're all going to be in it together, and so that process is underway to establish what that organics collection would look like. So for the commercial, industrial, and institutional sectors, it remains to be seen what level of participation would be included there. But I think there's a heck of a lot of diversion possible from businesses. So I would hope that we'd be brought in, and hopefully that will also provide some economies of scale for everyone participating in that. We also did, kind of a less importance, but maybe for Paul, you'd be interested in this. Town council approved its first additional residential unit. This was the Maidstone Hamlet. So that allowed for a second dwelling to be built on a single property. So that one was a short meeting. The subsequent week, 2 weeks later, we had our regional economic development meeting with Lakeshore. There's a strategy that's underway. We're trying to compile how to best leverage the assets that we have in the Tecumseh BIA, our neighboring businesses in Lakeshore, and how to best integrate our shared economy. So that all stakeholders have been interviewed, spoken to, and we have we had our focus groups a couple weeks ago. So that's something that we we'll see the fruits of our labor ideally fairly shortly, but that's something that's underway. An effort to ensure that we can all leverage the assets we have in the business community, regardless of our municipal boundaries. And we most recently met last night. So we welcomed a couple essays for Local Government Week. Two St. Peter's Elementary School students were the top two winners in the the essay contest. We received an update on the countywide active transportation system plan. So in our business district, for example, especially the CIP area, there is a system of sharrows, so a shared travel lane for vehicles and bikes that's proposed for Tecumseh Road. So that's one element of improvement that was highlighted in the system. As you know, West Bronx has been converted to a certain extent. And there are other opportunities that are being sought after as part of the countywide active transportation system. So what we did find was Tecumseh per capita gets the least investment, and that's a direct result of us not having county roads that are owned by the County of Essex. So that was an interesting discussion that we had. But ultimately, the point of it all is, we do want to tap into tourism and hopefully a benefit to you as business owners that with the advent of more cycling and more walking, that we will find some good tools to bring more traffic into your areas and gather people from outside of our boundaries who will potentially make day trips to your businesses and just make it more accessible, make the different business districts especially more accessible to active transportation. And also Town Council approved the BIA's budget for 2022 last night. So we're delighted to welcome Paul, Linda, and Denise for that. Town Council considered and approved the elimination of the Urban Hen pilot program. So for about 2 years, the town has issued temporary licenses for individuals if they wish to have urban hens, raise them for their own to grow the eggs and or have them as pets. We opened it up to see what that would look like. The record was unfortunately not what we were hoping for, with very difficult situations that could not be resolved in a balanced way, and taking a lot of enforcement time. So Town Council elected to stop the Urban Hen program, owing to that resourcing issue and the real risk of long-term semi-permanent or permanent impacts when a coop is not done right. Town Council also approved an agreement with Community Support Center. So they offer a variety of services, including transit for seniors, but also different clinics for the people of the community. But certainly some of those transit services are used to do shopping and day-to-day tasks, going to see professional treatment or aesthetics or any services. So we're happy to have renewed that. Town Council has also adopted a new Indigenous Land Acknowledgement Statement. So this was actually begun before really we had the awareness of the residential schools discovery. But it was returned last night, and we have a very fulsome but living statement that has been adopted, which gives certainly the recognition to our First Peoples, to our Aboriginal peoples, and those who came and were here before us, to demonstrate, the dignity of their history and respect for the culture that was here before we settled here. Town council further adopted changes to our administrative fees and charges. Really, they get evaluated every year. There were a couple of costs of basically just cost delivery increases on certain charges. They're pretty minor in the grand scheme of things when you look through them. There's certain things that have changed, but pretty much I'd call them status quo fees and charges versus last year, mainly due to consumer price index. It's just a cost recovery mechanism. No money is made off of these fees and charges. It's just reflective of the materials and labor costs involved with processing. Town council also adopted a renewal for 5 more years for the provincial offences court. So that's the court that we all go and fight our traffic tickets at, among other things. So that's based out of the city of Windsor, and the town of Tecumseh gets a share of the revenues for those traffic tickets and other provincial offenses. And there were a couple of amendments to the purchasing bylaw as well. So this has, it doesn't look like there's much relevance to the BIA with that, because, but there was a bit of modernization. The BIA is still subject to purchasing bylaw. In large part, the amendments were minor and just reflective of better business practices. So that was just brought to our attention. The town corporation is reporting a third quarter 2021 surplus of about 163,000 on the property tax side and 423 on the rate side. So that's water and wastewater rates. That's not, there were certainly cost containment measures, but the bulk of that is due to provincial and federal grants that were brought back to us. Thank you to the federal and provincial governments for their support in making the town whole, so we did not finish the year in the red. We still haven't had a final year reconciliation. That won't happen until early next year. But so far it's looking like we will finish in the black as a corporation with the 2022 budget taking effect January 1st. Town council further discussed the sportsplex. So as was reported earlier, the funding prospects for the sportsplex as presented earlier were not seen to be terribly realistic in the short term. So we decided as a council to try something different. So we're going to do a multi-site approach for offering the same nature of facilities. So there would be, for example, at Lacoste Park, a major enhancement to the baseball facilities there, and add some artificial turf. There would be at the arena site a triple gym, which would allow for those indoor sports or those outdoor sports to be done in the winter months, as well as a variety of activities and prospective rentals. So good opportunity to offer some show space or some just a space where in our community that our community can leverage for a variety of purposes. So it's very much a multi-use. It won't have an artificial turf. It would have more of a court, hard floor, but still provides that winter sporting opportunity. And third, we would partner up with the different schools and look to update their fields with artificial turf, so that we have those. We can lengthen the seasons of play for the different sports so that they aren't stuck in the summertime when it's dry, but they can play when it's a bit wetter and colder, although not too wet and cold. But so that's the direction that we settled on, and we will try to develop those facilities more on a piecemeal basis for the benefit of the community and to respond to the community's demand for improved facilities. And there was also a couple of minor things. We renewed our source protection plan, which is for drinking water. That's with ERCA. There's an adjustment to water and wastewater rates. Water rates went up by 1%, wastewater by 2%. Those were, again, costs of service, the cost for chemicals and treatment, et cetera. And we also signed an agreement for, gave approval for signing 2 agreements with the federal government, one for updating sanitary service connections in Oldcastle, and through a last minute addition for the Turkey Creek as well, which is out in LaSalle. So with all that, that sums up. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our rural broadband motion. So Councillor Houston might want to add a bit more, but because he's on the committee and chairs it, the town has a rural broadband task force to try and improve our internet service, and the province is putting a lot of funding into that service, but it appears as if their procurement policy is really only going to be able to be delivered by the big players. So smaller players like Tech Savvy or Gosfield North Telecom, they'd be shut out of the opportunity to help build broadband in Tecumseh and other places. So the ask is really that the province change a number of its criteria for procurement so that we can have local companies participate in the good news that we're going to have better internet service down the road, funded by the province. And there were a couple of other just very specific items related to the procurement terms that were a part of that motion. But town council supported that to get the best possible service for broadband in our community. And so with that, I'll stop there and happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Andrew, concerns, or for Brian?
I did actually have one question involving the artificial turf. I think that's a great idea, but the only thing I was concerned about is if we lay that down, do we know what the lifespan of that is? Like after 5 years, does it fade? Does it really start to ruffle up and then, or it's all pulling out, and then we've got that fee to now every 5 years you're replacing all this artificial turf, and we all know that stuff isn't cheap. So all I was thinking basically in that case, my only question was if that had a long shelf life, basically that artificial turf.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I do have an answer. I know the lifespan is known. Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it 15 years? I believe the figure was given to us last night. But what we have is the town operates a life cycle budgeting process. So when an asset has a finite lifespan, we depreciate it, and then we set aside funds every year to replace it once its lifespan is up. So that's in play.
Maintenance and everything too.
Yeah. So maintenance is through kind of the general operations. And then the life cycle is we set aside for capital. So at the end of life, the money's in the bank to replace it. So that's something that we've been doing in Tecumseh since 2011, or actually earlier than that. It's been about 15 years that Tecumseh's been doing that. It was a pioneer. And so it means even though we pay a little bit more than maybe we would like on taxes, we actually benefit in the long run from these lower operating costs because we can replace things when they need to be replaced and don't have to try and throw good money after bad fixing things in a piecemeal fashion.
To be clear though, Andrew, this is a town expense, not a BIA expense.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that entirely. This is all on the general rate.
Yep. No, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. Any other questions for council? All in favor of accepting council's report as read? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Andrew and Brian. Next is the marketing committee reports. We'll start with marketing. Denise, do you want to start with that one?
Sure. Okay, so so for marketing, we partnered up with Eyes on Windsor. I don't know if you guys know them or have seen their work, but they're an online media outlet, and they have created a series for us called Eyes on Tecumseh. We've had our 9th feature that was out. I'm currently working with the owner.
Is it Joe?
What's that, sorry?
Is it Joe that's Eyes on Tecumseh?
No, his name's Eric Bonici.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, Eric. Okay.
Yes. So Eric's really, really good. I don't know if you guys have worked with him before, but he's fantastic.
I'm thinking of Spotted in Windsor. That's Joe.
Yes. Yes. I know who you're thinking about. He's also really good too. Maybe we'll reach out to him to do something with Tecumseh in the future. So again, if you guys have any connections, just let me know. But so far, we've had a bunch of businesses that have joined on, and he's currently working to get our 10th feature finished. We're trying to get some new businesses involved in that, so that way they can just get introduced to Tecumseh and the BIA in general. And just for the newcomers as well, I wrote a grant on behalf of the BIA to the Windsor Essex Chamber of Commerce, and we have been granted a grant of $3,200, which is really, really good. So we're going to use that towards this campaign to help subsidize more off of the cost for doing this. And again, to touch on the holiday guide, we partnered with the Windsor Star. There were some issues there where there was poor quality newspaper. They forgot a couple of things with the content, but they just did a recent reprint. So we got our information out there twice, which is great. Social media, we continue to do contesting. We post our content from our members and ourselves, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, hoping to get Instagram back up soon. And Tecumseh BIA swag, I don't know if you guys saw it yet, but we ordered a bunch of water bottles, notepads, pens, and tote bags. Thank you. I have our Tecumseh Proud logo on it that we designed. Our chair, our previous chair, Candace, she was the one that came up with the idea of Tecumseh Proud, and she created a logo, and we're running with that as kind of like a rebrand type thing. So we have created all of this swag, and we're just trying to figure out a way to distribute it to the businesses and the public. We've actually had a couple of people call Town Hall, and then Town Hall directed them to us because they were looking for a Tecumseh themed merch and swag to give their members who are coming here, or their family members who are coming here out of town, just as kind of like a souvenir. So there's been a lot of interest coming about this swag that we ordered. So we're just trying to figure out the best way to distribute it, because we only have a certain amount, right? So maybe we can tie that in with getting new associate members and something like that. But if you guys want to join the marketing committee, these are the fun things that we talk about. And for Christmas, again, we ordered all the lights. We ordered corporate Tecumseh dollars for businesses to purchase. We have some decor in our office. And we have some Christmas Tecumseh dollar giveaways, like the holiday draw that we're doing. So that's it for the marketing committee.
Did we find Tinkerbell?
We did. She got put up today.
Okay.
Yes. So she's in our BIA parkette now. We've got Tinkerbell with her wings.
Okay.
Old billiard building as well. So for the membership committee, again, we're just brainstorming different ways to distribute our Tecumseh Proud swag to our members and throughout the community. And we're figuring out ways to reach out to more lakeshore businesses, specifically in the area, to join the Tecumseh BIA associate members. Beautification report. This is something good for the new people to know as well. We have been working on a mural project all year long. It started in February. And just to get you guys up to date, I don't know if you've seen his work around, but his name is Dirks. He's a mural artist. And we have partnered with him. He gave us a mock-up of what we were asking him to do. Our original place that we were going to do this was on the old Billiards Plus building. And we were partnering with them for 7 months talking about plans, measuring out the walls and whatnot. And then they got a grant from the town to paint their walls, and they decided against the mural. So they're just going to paint their walls black, and they dropped out of our deal. So we went fishing and found 2 new places, thankfully. So where Kona Sushi is going to be across from Oven 360, and where Rozoy is and Jeanette's dry cleaning and alterations, that building there, those 2 buildings are the new buildings that we're going to do murals on. Hopefully, the owners agreed to do them, and they're very excited about it. So we went back to Dirk's, and he's going to give us a new mock-up based on those walls. But for our primary mural, we're going to do a Tecumseh Proud theme, which is going to be kind of a community piece. This year, 2021, was actually Tecumseh's 100th birthday, but we couldn't celebrate it, obviously, because of COVID. So those celebrations are going to next year. So the mural being pushed to next year is kind of a good thing and a blessing in disguise, because we can tie it in with Tecumseh's 100th and give the community kind of this iconic, fun piece for them to, relate to. So the one that's going on the Rozoy building, that's going to be an interactive mural. I don't know if you guys have seen those out in the community with like angel wings that people can pose and take pictures with and stuff like that. But then the one at Kona is going to be like the big Tecumseh Proud theme piece. So that's just to kind of bring you guys up to date. We gave our mural artist a deposit so that way he could go and get started on measuring the wall and doing mock-ups and whatnot. So we're waiting to hear from him. I'll send you guys, Sandra, Eddie, and Travis, what the mock-up looked like that he gave us for our original building, to see what you guys like and don't like. And if you have any ideas, just send them to me, because we're still brainstorming. I haven't received one from him yet for our interactive piece, but when I do, I'll send it to everybody. But we're going to use the winter, since he can't do any paintings during the winter, obviously, because of the weather. We're going to use the winter to brainstorm and kind of solidify what we want on those murals. And then in the spring of 2022, he's going to actually do them. So we'll be brainstorming that. You don't have to be on the beautification committee to be involved in this. It's going to kind of be like a whole board group project type thing. So I want to make sure that enough people are okay with it, because you guys are also members of the public too, and business owners that are part of this, that are paying for it, right? So the more input, the better. So I'll send that to you guys after this meeting. And then the committee plans for future discussion on wayfinding signage. Our bus shelter outside of our BIA is a little torn up, so we're looking to hopefully beautify that and redo that in the future. Garbage can art, that was another thing we could do to beautify our town. Bike racks, and hopefully this is something that I brainstormed. I don't know if you guys like it, we can vote on it in the future, but a rainbow sidewalk for Pride Week in 2022. And the Pride Month is in June. So it would just be something nice on behalf of us to kind of relate to the community and show our support for LGBTQ plus community. Events committee, nothing to report on at this time, because we haven't been able to have events for almost 2 years now. Governance committee, Jules isn't here. He was the only one that was on that committee. So I'll just keep you guys up to date on that. So we had a meeting to discuss the MOU, which is the Memorandum of Understanding, and it's a document between the town of Tecumseh and the BIA. So we can be on the same page about what we can do, what we can't do, and any policies and procedures between the two of us. So we had a meeting here at the office, and Andrew and Brian came, Paul came, Linda came, Leo came.
Yeah,
we were all here and discussed our concerns or any questions that we had. So we're just trying to finalize and figure out if we have any more questions or concerns before we finally go and get the final approval and kind of put that topic to bed. And once we have a final copy, obviously I'd send it out to you guys so you can read up on it. And it's a good understanding of what the BIA is able to do and what we're not able to do with the town. And that's pretty much it for the committee reports. Does anyone have any questions?
I do, if you don't mind, please.
No.
I just wanted to ask in regards to the beautification, did we ever think about or maybe consider doing what, let's say, Windsor Jackson Park does with all the Christmas lights, like something that we can do to kind of attract people to come into the town of Tecumseh?
Eddie, I wish you'd know, I've been hoping for a while now that we could do something at Lakewood Park, like bright lights.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had this dream of putting an outdoor skating rink at Lakewood Park, but I don't know. That's something we'd have to bring up to the town to see, because I think it would be great. Like your plaza, she goes out of her way to decorate in your plaza, and the other plazas are doing the same thing. But I think we've got such a huge park at Lakewood. It would be nice to have something there. And maybe some of the other parks. I know the town wraps Ticonderoga Park, the trees with lights there. We have so many parks in our town, which is great. But I don't know if it's ever been brought up to council before about putting lights at
It'd be
Lakewood.
awesome because LaSalle does it too. Like I remember last year driving to LaSalle, like it's beautiful.
Kingsville does it. Kingsville does it. Leamington does it at Lakeside.
Yeah.
Brian?
So the BIA does have a beautification budget, right? And it's 45,000 that we have set aside for this coming year.
Not enough, yeah.
Yep. Denise mentioned, some of the projects that we've identified, but there's nothing at this point other than the murals, but the murals were coming out of last year's budget. So, it's food for thought, for the committee, but we've got those dollars there that will be ready. And, a full-on light show, I think bright lights in Windsor was millions, right? We've got 45,000 there. An outdoor rink, I think that's a great idea, but then again, it comes down to staffing and costs and, climate change as well. I don't know if there's enough time for us, right, to have like a big outdoor rink. There's certainly a challenge there, but I mean, there's nothing stopping, the BIA to begin to say, let's put $10,000 a year on lights, right? And begin to build something out year over year. The only challenge with lighting in Lakewood Park is electricity, because it's not fully serviced and we can't plug lights anywhere that we want. But if the BIA chose that was going to be something we'll begin to build out, there's certainly some dollars there, and there's there'll be a way for us to figure it out. So if anybody has any great ideas of things, beautification, some of the things we spoke about, we can discuss them here and, put some plans and do some great things next year.
It would be nice if we could talk and maybe partner up with the town on some things like that. We know about the electricity issue from our past festivals that we've had to bring in hydro and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been something that we've bantered about for a while now. But thanks for bringing it up, Eddie. And it'll certainly be something we can talk about.
Yeah, and Tecumseh has a lot of like big names in it too, right? Like I'm sure if we kind of talk to some of these people who want to maybe sponsor and have their logos and signs all over within the park, if there's such a great exposure, like we can take advantage of that.
Good.
Yeah.
And just to touch on this too, there's 5 committees. There's marketing, membership, beautification, and governance and events, sorry. So if you guys want to join on one of those, you can choose whichever one you want. You can be on multiple. But if you're not on certain committees, it doesn't mean that you still can't come forward with ideas. You know what I mean? So again, if you think of anything when you go home tonight, or if it's something just dawns on you during the week, or if you get to talking to someone, always email or text or call, whatever, message me with any ideas. And it's always a talking point, right? We can bring it up and talk to the board about it, make a motion, accept it, and just make things happen. So I'm excited to see you guys getting really involved right now, because that's fantastic. This is what we need.
Good. Can we have a motion to accept the committee reports as read? Eddie?
Yes.
Travis? Brian? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Next along, unfinished business is the MOU And we have to have a scheduled special meeting to go over the strategic plan for 2022. So we'll probably do that in January. I think it's kind of late right now, but
Yeah.
I think we just need one more meeting, and we can probably wrap up the MOU and then present it to town hall to Mark and go from there. Does that sound possible, Brian? Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Under new business, we've talked about the mural agreements, the murals, part-time help for the office for 2022. We still have to talk about that as a board. Appointing the new board members to committees. We've already touched on that. The Tecumseh Dollar program revamp, we've touched on that. Do we have to change? Oh yeah, signing officers. We have to do that, don't we? We're going to have the election for a chair in January. Is that what we decided, or?
I believe so. January.
Okay. So then after we have that, then we can go to the bank and get the signing officers changed. Correct?
Okay. Right. I wanted to bring it up too for like the new board members.
Oh, okay.
Our signing officers are basically people on the executive team that sign away on checks and whatnot for reimbursements. So there's specific people on our board that can do that. So just to touch on that. So we are having elections coming up in the new year for different positions on this board. We've got treasurer, chair, vice chair. We currently don't have a chair. So Linda, because she's vice chair, she's acting chair. So just keep that in mind too, if you guys want to nominate yourselves or somebody else. All right. But the one thing I will touch on too, the mural agreements, we do need a motion to pass those in order to make them legit to move forward. So have you guys read through the mural agreements at all? The only difference that we had from last time for the board members that have been here is I changed the 5-year agreement back to 10 years, should have been. So
10?
to 10, yeah.
Okay.
And both businesses agreed to have that murals on there for a decade, which is the standard amount. Yes, Paul?
Does everybody have a copy of the mural agreement?
Yeah, there's two. They're on the attachments.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys had any questions or concerns about those, Brian?
Can I ask who drafted these?
So those were drafted back when Candace was here. So we had those from downtown Windsor, lent us their agreements that they had with their artists. And we kind of went through them and sent them back and forth to David Halliwell and Segan Law Firm and their lawyers. So they actually looked through it while they were looking through it for themselves, but also legally they were looking through it. And they sent it back to us with a couple of changes. So we had them technically looked at by lawyers to make them legit. And we also used them from a different BIA for reference, but we just obviously modified them to be for Tecumseh and specifically for this. So those were the only changes that were made to it, just so that way you guys save yourselves a million hours worth of rereading and whatnot. The only thing that changed, like I said, was the 5 years to 10 years, back to 10 years, I should say, and all the people and addresses involved. So just spark.
Concern,
Yep.
Brian?
No, I mean, the only concern I have is we haven't had, and I get that we were dealing with a lawyer on their end, but we really have no lawyer representing us and representing the BIA having eyes in drafted on these. So that would be my only concern. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but I've kind of looked through it, but I would feel a little better if we had somebody from, representing us in the BIA reviewing and looking at this rather than us just taking that and using it.
Do we have someone at the town that can look at it for legality? Because I don't think we have anyone on the board that is and Linda, she comes from she's representing a lawyer's office, but they don't practice in that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's someone at the town that can help us out with that, or else it's going to have to be another search.
Well, I mean, the town has our lawyer, right? And
Yeah.
we could have our lawyer look at it. I mean, Andrew, what's your thoughts?
I mean, just the lawyer isn't employed by the town, so ultimately get billed by the hour. So I think that, I mean, that introduction could be made. I mean, our clerk, Laura Moy, is, I mean, she's head of our legislative affairs. So she's not a lawyer, but, you know, she does have a fair amount of experience with agreements, and almost certainly participates in authoring most, if not all of them. So I'd say it's worth a call to Laura to see, well, what, what's in the, whether there's a resource available that could help, and see what comes from that conversation. It may end up being, yeah, we can refer you to Mr. Hooker, but I don't know what the how available that service would be from the municipality. I'm expecting would be, yeah, we can refer you to Mr. Hooker, but it would, I don't think it would be free of charge. I think it would be just, he's someone who knows municipal law, and who would be probably the best suited for offering that kind of service.
Okay. But just to touch on that too, both businesses, regardless of what's in that, like the wording and the, what's what I'm looking for?
Language.
Yes, thank you. They're going to sign it anyway because they want to do it. So it's not, we're going to lose them based off of the verbiage and whatnot that we change in this to make it like legal. So we still have them. We can move forward with the design process, but just I will reach out to Laura to have her and see what she can refer us.
And I can reach out to Laura and pass these along. She can pull them online or off from online and just review it. And at this point, I don't think it's going to slow the process down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll keep us from moving forward. I just want to make sure that somebody's there reviewing this and, has eyes on it from, the BIA's perspective, and crossing the I's, dotting the T's. So,
question, if you don't mind. Sorry, just because I have a couple friends who are lawyers and whatnot. Would it be more appropriate though to have maybe like a separate lawyer than the town? God forbid, any issues between the town and the BIA, like you want to make sure that there's also separate lawyers between there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, Eddie. It's just a matter of if you've got a lawyer that you want somebody to independently look at it.
Yeah.
Outside of the town and the BIA sphere.
Yeah.
Maybe something to look at.
The only thing I would say is the BIA is covered in any insurances and
blanketed, right?
So the BIA is a board of the town and subject to all of that. So I don't think I would just feel better that the clerk would look through it, see if there's any call outs. If nothing, hey, that's fine. But if there is,
okay, well, why don't we start there then, Denise?
Okay.
We'll send it to Laura, and then we'll wait to see what we hear, and then we can take care of this at the January meeting.
Okay.
Hopefully by then we'll have our answers to make sure we're covered.
Yeah.
Right?
But if it's appropriate, I am fine if we want to move ahead and we delegate Linda and Paul, right, as signing officers, right, once this goes through the clerk. Again, I don't think even if we wait till January, we're going to have an issue, but we can certainly delegate that signing authority.
Okay. That sounds good. As long as we can still proceed in the process and it's not going to put us back any further than we originally. That's fantastic. That's good.
No, I don't think it will. So I'll get it to the clerk and then we'll go from those steps and then we'll just address it in January.
Okay. Do we need a motion on all that? No.
Quick question.
Sorry, Paul.
Okay, so just for clarity, Brian, you're going to reach out to Laura?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And then speaking of legality, we have been approached from a third party that they want to start using our logo for Tecumseh Proud as their own. So because we created it, they want to basically take it from our website and kind of steal it from us and modify it to be theirs. They called and asked permission, which I thought was very strange. But essentially I let them know that, because they asked if it was trademarked. And, you know, I didn't want to give anything away, but it's not trademarked, but I just let them know that I would go and check first. But it is indeed not trademarked. So anyone can take that. However, if they do, it's going to be a conflict with our Tecumseh Proud that we're doing next year. So my question to you guys is, we trademarked the Art of Eating logo, and I contacted the same lawyer that helped us out with that. He's from Toronto. His name's Thompson Miller law firm. David Schnurr, he's fantastic. He's great. He's letting us know the process of everything. So he basically said that to patent it, to basically hold it as ours, is $336, but for their services, for the filing and for the searching, it would be $1,200. So there's a cost there of $1,536, which obviously would be an expense to us. It would need to have a motion to pass that and to get the ball rolling. It's going to take them 2 years to finalize it with the trademark office. However, once they put the filing in motion, we're basically locked in. It's ours. So just to be safe, I didn't think this was going to be an issue, but now that it's been brought to our attention, just to be safe, I'm just putting the recommendation out there that we do that now before we run into problems in the future. Considering we got all of this swag that has Tecumseh Proud on it, and also our mural that's going to be Tecumseh Proud. If someone else takes this logo and is low enough to steal that from us, then we're kind of, you know, out of luck. So it's just to let it FYI to you guys. You guys are the voting board. So I'm just putting that out there as a recommendation to do that. I know it's a big cost, but it will serve a purpose long-term. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. No.
Questions? Concerns? Paul?
Well, I think it's an important thing that we protect what we already have. It's just a matter of, if you got, my one question is, Denise, when you're talking to the lawyer, as far as filing a motion for the patent, how long does that take so that we're protected, and then let the 2 years come and go? Like, how long does it take in order to secure it or lock it in, as you said earlier?
As soon as we give them the payment, they kind of lock it in, because from there they start to do the searching and filing, right? So as soon as we file the paperwork with them and give them a payment, it kind of secures us and locks us in. And then we're confirmed and finalized that that's, you know, ours within 2 years. The same thing happened. I checked with Paula too, with the Art of Eating logo. As soon as she filed with him, we were kind of locked in. So regardless, that's going to be ours as long as we hand them over the proper paperwork that's signed, and also a check that is signed. So that's how that process goes. Because I was also concerned, because if it was going to take 2 years, then we're kind of, you know.
Well, I think it's very important that we protect our identity, and especially something of a logo nature where we've already got printed matter out there. So protecting ourselves now and for the future, I'd be more than happy to make a motion to move forward with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Any further questions on that, Brian?
Can you share that logo up on the screen so at least everybody can see it and know
Sure.
exactly what it is?
Here. My million documents. Just give me 1 second. Sorry.
It's on every email, isn't it?
You know, if you guys can see that.
Says you started.
Oops. My computer is freezing.
Oh.
Can you guys see it?
Oh, there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's important that
it's-
we keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simple. You guys can't see the bottom of it, but we had Tecumseh BIA and support local underneath the proud. And basically what this person told me was they were going to crop that out and use it for their own. So it's, yeah, terrible that there's people that will do that, but I just wanted to secure it and make sure that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we could have prevented something that's now going to put us out, not only time and effort, but money as well.
Any other questions or concerns on going forward with this?
Denise, the only thing I'd recommend is connecting with the clerk, because I don't know if the town has trademarked that feather. So however it proceeds forward, please just connect with Laura
Okay.
on this and just ask about the trademarking of what the town has protected.
Good thought.
Okay.
Good thought, Dave.
Question to you, Brian, with the feather, is the feather in general trademarked, or can we use a different version of the feather?
That'll be a question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
You'll have to ask the clerk.
Okay, I will connect with her. In the meantime, can we make a motion, or do we have to wait?
I think Paul made the motion, did he not?
I did.
There was no one second or,
No, not yet.
yeah.
So Paul, you've made the motion to carry forward with this?
Yes, absolutely. I make that motion.
Okay, do we have a seconder for Paul's motion?
Jessica?
Oh, okay, I can't see her.
Oh.
All in, there she is. All in favor of accepting the motion? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Paul. And thank you,
everyone.
Brian, for your insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the board.
And just an FYI before we go to the next meeting and adjourn, OBIA, which is Ontario's BIA Association, they sent us a notice because there's a conference every year, but we haven't been able to have one for the past 2 years. They're looking to have one in 2022 in April, just so you guys know. And I'll let you guys know what the costs are for that, but at this rate, I don't see that happening, but just an FYI.
Gonna say it's gonna be a real one?
Yeah. Yeah. So they're looking to do it in Niagara Falls, but I don't think that that's going to happen, but just an FYI.
Okay, yeah, it's usually, well, it is annually, but we
Yeah.
haven't been able to go the last couple of years, or the last year because of COVID.
Right.
So, okay, before we adjourn, is there anything else that anybody wanted to bring up or talk about? Or I thank you, Travis and Eddie and Sandra, for joining in with us tonight. And
Thanks for having us.
And we'll thank you for applying. And we'll certainly get to you as far as a description of the committees that are available. And when we have a couple of meetings coming up, we'll certainly invite you to come in and sit down. We've been having the odd meeting at the office because we can socially distance and you can wear masks. So, but we'll give you plenty of time because we know, Eddie, you got to get the hummus made, and Travis, you got to get the pizza done.
Tons.
So if there's nothing else, then I'll have a motion for adjournment.
Yes.
Travis, Eddie, thank you. All in favor? Okay, the next meeting is Wednesday, January 19th at 6 o'clock. I was hoping on Zoom and YouTube again. I was hoping we'd be back in the office, but it doesn't look like it. So
No.
anyway, everybody have a very Merry Christmas and
Merry
stay safe
Christmas.
and healthy, and we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you so
Merry
much, guys.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
All the
Thanks,
best.
guys.